Hello, I'm Zoe McAlpine. I am a former CEO, former leader of lots of teams who has always had a passion for people and what makes them tick. So I have been very lucky over the past few years to be studying with Bailey Balfour and learn some incredible coaching skills to lead me into my new career as an executive coach and consultant. Yeah, sure. So a couple of years ago, after leaving my last CEO role of a charity here in Western Australia that looks after women and families going through breast cancer, which, that role was my life. It was more than half my working career. And I absolutely love the organisation, but I was also at a life stage where I have two amazing young children and lots of other things going on that meant I wanted to change what I did and really lean into the things that excited me, which was all about what makes people tick. How do we help them flourish in their roles? How do we help them want to get out of bed every day and go to work? And that was really what led me into coaching. As a CEO, my head was always drawn to the financials and the revenue work and all of the metrics that meant the doors could open every day. But my heart was always led to the people work, and I never got to that. So to be able to do the people work day in and day out has really been quite amazing. So now I run my own consulting business. It's probably about 60, 70% executive coaching and then about 30% consulting and project work. As much as it terrified me, I think the mentor coaching was so exceptionally valuable. And I loved the safety of being pushed out of my comfort zone. The warmth and care and support and focus on what we did right, was exceptional, with enough, enough addressing of where we can improve. I think that's always important, but in such a safe way. It was really, really wonderful. And I found it hard to get to the mentor coaching sessions, as I've spoken to you about, Jean, just because of my life, not because of the way the course was set up. The course is amazing. But every time I went, I'd always walk away buzzing with something I learned because it was real. You talked about real play rather than role play. And even when I'm facilitating workshops, there's nothing I dislike more than role play. I just think it feels so unnatural. Whereas when we do real play and we work through real issues, it is absolutely the best. So valuable. And there were many times I was working through my decision to leave my CEO role when I did level 1 with Bailey Balfour. And those mentor coaching sessions where I got to go through some of the challenges that were going on in my mind were absolutely critical to what I did. And 2 years on, I'm just so grateful for that support. Yes, absolutely. I've got some real favourites. I love all of my clients. I have had a wonderful situation this past kind of 18 months where it's not speaking out of school because this person that I'm working with has been so generous to share her story publicly about where she was at 18 months ago, which was that she had been in a CEO role for a long time. She was fantastic at it, but it probably wasn't fantastic for her at the time. She was tired and she, couldn't find that zest and that energy to keep going and lead the team. And we were lucky enough to be introduced and work together. And it has just gone from strength to strength. She has done this most incredible work, reframing her situation for herself, stepping into that CEO role and not into the doing everything for everybody role, empowering the leaders who work for her and with her. And the organisation is going from strength to strength as a result as well. I think once the leaders flourish, everything underneath it flourishes as well. So watching and being a part of that has been a real privilege, because you coach some people and the coaching is wonderful, but you don't actually get to see the impacts at work. Whereas in this situation, I've been lucky enough to see the team and see the impacts, and that's been really, really special. As a result of my Bailey Balfour coach training, the biggest and most amazing thing I have learnt, and it has been a fundamental change for me, has been about understanding that the person in front of me has everything they need with me. that it has nothing to do with me, and that I'm not there to, at other times maybe yes, but in this situation, I'm not there to mentor them. I'm not there to give them the answers. They've got it all. So, realistically, the biggest and most amazing thing I've learned is to keep my mouth closed and give them the space to be. And, what comes out of that is quite incredible. Oh, look, for me, it pervades every part of my life. I have young children and I stop and listen with them more. And they come up with the answers. They're 5 and 8 and they're so clever. They know within their age appropriate boundaries, what they need to do. And they've got common sense and they've got good mindsets and they've got gratitude for life. And if I just stop and listen rather than just telling them, they learn so much more. They learn so much more about themselves and the world. And the same thing I think carries throughout our lives, just at whatever age appropriate level it is. So it now is in every part of my life, not just coaching. It's in my relationships with friends. Just stop and listen. Relationships with my family, just stop and listen. I think especially in the family context, it's really interesting because we tend to be quite boisterous and bossy and tell each other what to do and everything. And it's changed everything for me, because if you stop and listen, all this gold comes out. It's quite amazing. Oh. Look, I researched so many programs and there are wonderful other providers around the world, but I don't know anyone like Daily Health. This is the place to go if you want to learn to be an absolutely amazing coach. I was recommended to Bailey Balfour by my coach mentor, who continues to be my coach mentor, and is helping me build my business. But meeting the faculty, the most incredible group of strong, smart people, led by Eugene, I just don't think anyone can go wrong with that. She's Bailey Balfour. Look, as someone who came to coaching probably 10 years ago, and I didn't have a good first experience, and it put me off for a few years. And then I did meet a coach who changed my world and my ability to find the answers within myself and to empower other people in my leadership. I just think we completely underestimate the place of coaching in the world. And what it can do for people. And when I look at where our world is at right now, I look everywhere and see fear. And life's still good. The sun's still shining and the days are beautiful, but there's elections around the world and there's riots and war and terrible things, and there's fear about cost of living. And I go, we all need someone in our back pocket to help us be our best selves. And I feel like there's a massive gap between, the really in-deep past interventions, which include things like psychology, which I'm a huge fan of. But coaching is like this positive, proactive future intervention where we go, how do we want our best future to look? And that's what I love about it. So I'm very, very grateful to our future and with all your faculty.